right, Chicago Hockey Radio postgame show. Justin Lynch and Tassos Kirkos. Hawks lose 4-3 to the Tampa Bay Lightning in overtime. Wash, rinse, repeat of Monday's game against the Carolina Hurricanes. We're not starting with the game, though, tonight, I imagine.
Game? What game? There was a game that happened?
Yeah, I didn't even know there was a hockey game being played tonight. Hawks lose, in about as Hawks fashion as it could have gone for this season. But not really the point here, as Mikko Rantanen is now a member of the Carolina Hurricanes. So is Taylor Hall. Late scratch for tonight's game. Hawks get a third-round pick back, and they're retaining 50% of Rantanen's deal through the end of the season. Dude, I don't know. We kind of called this, or we talked about this on today's show. I talked about it on my show today. The whole Rantanen thing, how weird it was. We're going to get to this game for sure. I know there's a lot to like from this game outside of the fact that the Hawks blew it again. But I don't know, dude. We have to start with this trade, obviously. But I don't know. Just original, outside of the Hawks thing, let's take the Hawks away for a second here. Mikko Rantanen is a member of the Carolina Hurricanes. That's kind of awesome for them.
Yeah, they're loading up, right? You got Hall in there too. It's funny, for a second we thought Taylor Hall was the headliner there. It turned out, nope. And I think a lot of people are going to forget that Hall's even in this trade now of Rantanen, right? That's a big piece there. For the Hurricanes now, it's that's a lot of pressure on them, right? I mean, last year, right, Getzel was the rental, right? Now it's Rantanen. It's even bigger upgrade. And this year's team, it's we've looked at how good they produced, right? But they've had good regular seasons, right? It's the playoffs. They've always kind of been one step away, right? It's either been an Eastern Conference final loss or a second round exit, right? I think anything less than a finals appearance or win, honestly, is a failure. This move is that big where it's it's cup or bust. It kind of feels like that. And you are giving up Martin Necas, a future core piece there, right? Who's had an insane season, right? You are giving him up, and Rantanen, I say he's a rental. Maybe they find a way to re-sign him. I think that'd be pretty tricky. Probably goes elsewhere. Maybe probably delusional there, but yeah. I mean, and again, you also bring in Taylor Hall, right? Good depth piece for them. I say depth piece because Hall. I'd say 2025 Taylor Hall probably more of a third liner in that team, but maybe it could be a second line guy. Who knows? But yeah, I mean, they're a pretty loaded squad now, so definitely very intriguing for them. I think for the Avalanche as well. I don't think I mean, yeah, it sucks for McKinnon, obviously losing, Rantanen like that, your sidekick, right? Those two have had great chemistry over the years, but I do think it beats letting him walk for nothing, right? If he wasn't gonna re-sign with them, which it seemed like it was gonna be tricky there, you do add Martin Necas, who could be a good core piece there, right? So I don't know if it's a complete loss for them. I mean, I'd say Hurricanes probably the main winners here because Drury, who cares, right? But I mean, losing Rantanen's tough, but I think getting Necas back definitely helps from that standpoint. But we'll see how that turns out.
The Hurricanes are the clear winners in this, dude.
Oh yeah, no.
It's not even close. And honestly, I think the Hawks are actually the losers in this.
Yeah, I mean, they're the brokers, they're the cucks here. That's what it is.
Yeah, but okay. So from Carolina's point of view, you get a top 10 player in the NHL, which is kind of cool that on a random Friday night, I was in the shower and, I start getting pings on my phone and then.
Yeah, did not see this coming at all. It was kind of out of nowhere. Yeah,
and no. It's not really often that a top 10 player gets traded in the NHL, let alone for a guy who, was almost shipped off to Winnipeg this past summer. Right? Necas was almost gone to Winnipeg. This is a guy that he's having an awesome season. Remember his dad was saying some stuff in the media that
yeah, but he's not Mikko Rantanen. Yeah.
No, dude, not even close.
I mean, here's the thing though. If the Hurricanes do end up winning the Stanley Cup, who cares if he's a rental, right? It makes it worth it. So from that standpoint, right? But if they don't, if they have a disappointing playoff run, he leaves. Then who wins the trade, right? It's easy. Right now, obviously, it looks like a win for the Canes, but I think we have to wait and see there, right? How it plays out,
I mean, I don't know, dude. I see him lining up with, I texted you and Lee, and I said, Seth Jarvis is going back to Colorado, right? He has to, right? How do you trade this guy? And I guess Nate just plays center and. Colorado needs a second line center. Casey Middlestad isn't the guy, but how do you not get Seth Jarvis out of that deal, dude?
You think he would have been better in return there? Yeah.
Not even close, dude. Necas is a fine player and he's lighting the world on fire, but he's also incredibly pissed off this year too. You know,
Oh,
like
he's playing pissed off. I think if anything, that's benefiting his play the way he's been. Yeah.
yeah. And also like so okay, so Carolina makes out like bandits here. I don't know. I would assume that second round pick has conditions on it. I don't know exactly.
It's a second and a fourth, right, for Colorado's
Yeah,
side?
but like, does the second turn into a first if they
Oh,
resign him?
I have no idea.
Or
Yeah,
like,
that's a good question.
what if he resigns there? Like,
I mean, if he does, then it's absolutely no questions asked to win for them. I'm just assuming he isn't, but maybe I'm wrong about that. I'm hoping he signs another place in the offseason. We are already retaining half of his cap there, so I don't know. I'm probably on to nothing there, but I know some people, Hawks fans, not to bring this to the Hawks, are kind of making a big deal of that, but it's like that salary's going to come off the books this offseason anyway. We're only paying that 4.6 or whatever it is for a few months here, so it's not really a big deal.
Okay, so to get on the Hawks here before we transition to Colorado and then we actually like get to the game. But you know, like my thought on Chicago here is my only issue with retaining the salary is it's limiting you from retain because doesn't that mean that the Hawks have all three salary?
They still have one because they didn't
they
retain
do.
on Taylor Hall. It's the Jake McCabe one. It's Rantanen, but they still have one slot open. So maybe there's another
Okay.
move coming there. I know some Hawks fans. There's a particular move I'm sure a lot of Hawks fans would like to see in regards to retaining salary. So maybe we'll still see that. Probably not.
I wouldn't.
I'm talking about Seth Jones.
I know.
Again.
I know.
Yeah, I know you are, but maybe some people at home are picking up on the reference there. But so I don't think the Hawks are done here. I think there's definitely more moves on the horizon. I'm not just saying the deadline. Like it wouldn't shock me if more moves were coming in the near future here. This could start a domino effect, right? So yeah, but just see what happens at that standpoint. But it's funny in regards to this game. Like, I'll be honest, like the first part of it, we're not going to get to it yet, but like it's funny. I was just looking at Twitter. I was just scrolling through X trying to figure out the trade returns. I was hardly even paying attention to the first part of this game. I was just focused on the trade. I think it takes a professor in a university to figure out all the details here as they're coming along, right? But the Hawks do get a third round pick in return for Hall, which again, if you've been listening to this show, like that was expected. We all assumed it would be a third round pick for Hall. Maybe you could argue if the cap retention, the Hawks could have got a second, but it's like, I don't know. It is a high third too. Like it's actually they're getting back the third round pick that they traded to them. So that, obviously, for the Hawks standpoint, that's going to be it's pretty much a high third round pick as you can get because they're going to be finishing near the bottom here. So I mean, low second versus high third, it's a few places. It's not really a big difference for me, which would have been for Carolina's like second, for example. So I don't think the Hawks really lost out there too much. I think the draft pick is probably what I would have assumed it to be a third round pick.
Okay, so I see nothing online of this second rounder going to Carolina having or going to Colorado having any conditions on it. Meaning, like if you know, I feel like you, Lee, and I have talked about this. I would give Mikko Rantanen 8 years at $14 million.
Oh yeah, no questions asked. That's not even a debate.
It's not even a debate. So
yeah, no.
If Carolina, which is normally, small market team, they don't like to spend big on free agents. They clearly have an internal cap. Tom Dundon is not really the most. He's a pretty frugal owner. Like we could just put it that way. If you end up re-signing him, if you end up giving this guy the bag, which you absolutely should, because not only is that arguably like if he plays the next 8.5 seasons in Carolina, that's probably the best player in franchise history. You know what I'm saying? Like, who else, dude? Eric Stahl? Like, are you kidding me?
I mean, we'll see, right? I mean, he's going to be 30 years old. So I mean, obviously, right now he's in his prime, but he could fall off towards the end of that contract a little bit. And it will be interesting to see like how he performs without McKinnon, right? That's been his guy, right? I'm sure he'll do fine, right? He's got guys to play with there, like Sebastian Aho. I'm sure they'll have great chemistry, but it will be a change of scenery for him, which he hasn't experienced yet in his career. So I'm interested to see if he fits in as well there compared to Colorado. I'm sure he will. He's a great player, top 10 player in the league, probably, but we will find out. Right?
Not probably. Yeah. Definitely, he is a top 10 player in the league. So I think it's weird. I think it's weird for Colorado too. Like, how are you supposed to go to Nathan McKinnon and Cale Makar?
Pissed, dude.
Like, I would be beyond livid if I was Nathan McKinnon, thinking you just traded away Mikko Rantanen for Marty Necas and a second round pick and some guy named Jack Drury who I've never heard of because I'm Nathan McKinnon. Like.
Yeah, I gotta imagine he's feeling pretty pissed over there, I would think. But I mean, I look at maybe I'm being delusional here, but there's another player, another franchise player, even like higher than that, and another Canadian market there, right? Draisaitl just signed his extension, probably assuming that McDavid's gonna resign there. Would it be something if he too was? I'm just kidding. I'm out of nothing there, but I was just something I was thinking about there. Yeah.
I think this is like first of all, it's cool that like not every day, like I said earlier, like it's not every day you get like a huge whopper,
just a blockbuster deal.
Like, and it feels like, you know, and we said on the show Monday and even a little bit Wednesday that like, you know, it feels like, oh, the JT Miller trade and all that stuff is really like backed up the trade market.
Yeah, that's the one we all thought was coming. It turns out it wasn't that, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was, I don't know, it was really fun to like spice up. I just honestly, dude, and I said this to you, you know, one thing I wanted to say, and then we can talk about Taylor Hall and, you know, the farewell to Taylor Hall here. But like, Rantanen has the 4th most points in the league through the last 5 seasons combined, only behind teammate Nathan McKinnon, Leon Draisaitl, and Connor McDavid. So,
wow, that shows how strong that connection was, right? Arguably the second best connection in the league there. So
it's pretty good. Pretty good.
Yeah, not too shabby there. Yeah.
My only thought is like, dude, I mean, like, so technically, like, I know this is like kind of tongue in cheek, but like, he was a Blackhawk for like however long, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, because they trade him to the Hawks, who then technically trade him to the Hurricanes. So yeah, Blackhawks legend Mikko Rantanen. Maybe that's a sign of things to come. Probably not, but I think
like, and I said this to you before we started, the Hawks couldn't have put like anything together to try and create a competitive, like, you're telling me this was the best offer on the table for Mikko Rantanen?
Oh yeah, maybe they could have. I'm sure KD. I would hope he at least tried. Hopefully it wasn't just. It seems like his negotiation tables, right? The Avs and the Canes were, you know, they were having fun with each other, and the Hawks were just kind of watching on the sidelines there. They were the cucks here, right? So,
but like, you couldn't have put together like Jones, Korchinski, and the Maple Leafs 1st round pick, and I don't know. Like, you're telling me that wouldn't have done it?
Well, I do find it interesting because like KD was in attendance for like the most recent Colorado games, right? He claims it was to watch, you know, their college prospects there, but I have some suspicions there. Yeah, I'm sure that was entirely the whole reason why you were there and scouting the Avalanche game. So I thought that was in anticipation of a potential Rantanen move. I speculated that, but I mean, I was right about it, but not in the way that I thought I was right about it. So unfortunately, we were underwhelmed for that aspect. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm looking here. Who did we get last year with Carolina's 3rd? Was it Spellacy or Pridham? Do you know that?
I think Spellacy. I think Pridham was a later pick, like a 4th rounder or something. I could be wrong. Yeah, I think Spellacy was a 3rd rounder.
You know, I've been the other thing too. Frank Saravalli reporting that Rantanen deal wasn't the biggest thing on the table in the last.
Yeah, there's something else on the horizon, right?
A lot of people are pointing. I think like
Crosby to the Avs.
Yeah,
they're probably just joking about that.
I don't know that that's true.
But what could be bigger than Rantanen to the? What could be bigger than this though? If it's not that, I mean, I don't think JT Miller would be bigger than this. Maybe they would argue just because of all the drama that's been around that. But you have to think that's coming soon now with this. Now that the dominoes have fallen, JT Miller's got to be. But where's he going now? We thought it was going to be Carolina, but surely it's not going to be.
I never thought it was going to be Carolina. That was out there. Andy Strickland put that out. I never thought it was going to be Carolina.
Yeah, so I wonder where it's going to be now. But that's another topic.
Islanders,
right?
Rangers, maybe Devils if they can figure out the cap. The other thing, somebody shooting down my Jones and Korchinski, even with the 1st, isn't more valuable than what Colorado got. Yes and no. You know, Natchez is like, he's fine, but like, this is the best season he's ever had.
You don't seem to be as high on Martin Natchez over there.
No, I'm not.
You think this is a flash in the pan? You think this isn't what like to expect? This is a career year, but it'll revert back to kind of what he was like last season.
Yeah. I mean, like, look, I mean, this is a guy who, like I said, he's playing pissed off. He has a lot to prove. His dad was talking smack last summer. Like, yeah, he had to come out and set the world on fire. You know, somebody's telling me Natchez is better than I think you guys think. No, I think he's.
I've been giving Natchez crap. I'm not sure what he's talking about. He's been putting me in there. I think it's more you.
It is more me.
I actually think the Avs got a pretty fair return here, honestly, all things considered. But I think right now in the short term they lose, but I think the long term might not turn out so bad.
I don't know how you don't get a 1st round pick out of this, or like one of the you didn't even get like Jackson Blake, who we watch, you know what I mean? You didn't get
Jason Blake's son, right?
Yeah, he is Jason
Blake's
son.
He's pretty good. Yeah.
You didn't get Jackson Blake. You didn't get Bradley Nadeau. You didn't get Seth Jarvis. You didn't get Felix Unger-Sorum, who's playing on the Wolves this year. Like,
you think You think another player there, like a tier two guy, like better than a Drury, would better than some of those like draft picks.
Drury's not even like a
Yeah.
B level guy, dude.
Yeah, no,
Like
he's like a
he's like
C
a
level.
yeah,
Yeah.
dude. I don't know.
Yeah, they were speculating that Coco Niemi was involved in the trade, but he wasn't. I
I
thought
sent
initially
that
that
to you
he might
guys
be coming
too.
to us, but that didn't
Yeah.
happen. So I'm not sure why his name was in there. But that was a long process, man. And X like finding out all these details as they're coming along, right? I was kind of paying attention more to that than this Hawks game. But to bring it back to Taylor Hall, though, it is kind of a shame, right? We saw this coming. I'm not surprised, but I just remember at the time of the Taylor Hall trade, like I was so psyched about it because we traded for him like right before we drafted Betsy, and there was a thought, oh, he could be his guy, right? As he comes into the league, that could be his sidekick, and it just never really transpired, right? Obviously, he gets hurt, tears his ACL like 10 games into last season, and he's just not the same player coming back for that, right? He has moments, he had that hat trick, but just hasn't really had a lot of moments as a Blackhawks this season. Just been kind of mid, not all his fault, right? I think Richardson probably didn't utilize him well, even scratched him a couple times. I think he's played a bit better lately, but not really like well enough to like where it's like kind of worth keeping him around here, right? We got to ship off some of these guys, right? Get what you can. It's going to be a younger, roster here as the season goes along here, and these college guys are signing, etc. Right? Hall is not the first. I'm sure there'll be more. I would expect somebody like Donato probably to be in the mix as well, and guys like that, Maroon, like to ship them off. So I mean, again, third round pick is a little underwhelming, yes, but like for 2025 Taylor Hall, it's not a surprise for me. I don't think the Hawks got fleeced here. That's been a casual.
Yeah.
That's been quite a casual take I've been seeing. Like this is a disaster for the Hawks, but it's like
My
they're the third party in a blockbuster trade. Like these things they have happened before, and the Hawks that's just a situation they were in here. So I don't know what people really expected for Taylor Hall.
my only thought was, and I've said this for legitimately probably 2 months now, you couldn't have thrown Ryan Donato in there and gotten a second out of this.
Yeah, that is what we did kind of propose that, right? It would have been worth, you could have gotten more, right? If you package Hall, now you could have moved up and get a second. I mean, what is it? There's the argument though. It's like a third rounder for Hall. Like, what does that really? Would have been better just keeping him. Like, what does that really do for us? Because we have so much draft capital as it is. We'd rather get some higher draft capital, like a third round pick. What does that really do? But in terms of Hall's value, I'd say that's probably what I'd expect to get back. But is it even worth doing that trade to begin with? Because Hall, he seemed happy to be a Blackhawk, right? Kind of wanted to stick around, but it just wasn't really in our plans there. Which again, where he is at this stage of his career, I guess that makes sense. I mean, he's 33, right? He's not getting any younger, and his play hasn't exactly been good enough where I'd say it's even really worth it.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, so for the Taylor Hall stuff, like I said, that was my only thought on it. Like, your retaining salary, you couldn't get another asset somewhere for someone like this. It just, it's okay. I just think like Kyle Davidson kind of got exposed here a little bit. And
yeah, I mean, but the salary thing though, it kind of washes though, because yeah, we are retaining on Ratnan, but we are for Hall, and that salary comes with a book. So like it's the salary kind of, if it's maybe a 2 million difference there, but it's not really. They kind of balances each other out.
Yeah. But like Taylor Hall, and it is such a far cry from like, I don't know if you kind of talk about, we could, when they brought him in, it was like they were about to draft Bedard, or they had just drafted him. I don't know the exact timeline, but like
it was June. It was June 26th. The draft was 28th. They literally traded from like right before the draft. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah,
and they got Foligno as well, which I would not thought the two piece that Foligno would be the more valuable addition there, because obviously he's the captain now and he's been healthy the last 2 years. His play honestly this season's been kind of, I would say he's probably been, for expectations wise, I think he's been better from that aspect because he's been useful in the PK and things like that. Whereas Hall has moments like we said, but he's just been inconsistent, right?
Yeah. Dude, interesting tweet out there. If you would have told me that the day after the Avs won the Stanley Cup that McKinnon, Rantanen, and Landeskog would never play another game together, ...
Yeah, I mean, because Landeskog, I mean, we still don't know what his situation is. I don't know if there is a situation there. They keep saying he might return, but it isn't. So I don't really know if it is going to happen at this point. Sounds like the potential Jonathan Toews comeback there, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, in terms of Hall, right? I think I looked at his final stats of the Hawks.
Sorry, everybody. The stream is lagging a bit here. I'm working my hold on. Working my hardest here to sort of get it figured out for everybody. Justin looks good though. I'm frozen. So Justin, you want to carry it away a bit?
Yeah, sure. Should we get into the game now, or do you want to keep?
Yeah,
we transition?
No, we can get on to the game. Sorry, everybody, for
yeah.
All that stream issue. We might have Wi-Fi use somewhere else here.
Yeah, the Hawks are 0-1 in the Taylor Hall-less era, right? Another 4-3 overtime loss. So, like you said, wash, rinse, repeat from the Monday game, which I missed for personal reasons. But so for me, that game never happened. So it didn't really feel like deja vu for me. So I kind of got off scot-free there. But yeah, it's a loss. It's disappointing, but it's like I do think there are good things to take away here. The players that you want to see produce did, right? Frank the Tank, goal and assist, multi-point game. I would argue this is his best game since he's been called up. He was fantastic, probably the Hawks' best player tonight. Louis Crevier multi-point game. I would not have anticipated that before GTA 6 dropping, but Louis Crevier he's quietly been pretty impressive, I would say, in that decor there. Vlasic, that's been a good pair. So that's solid. Good to see that. Colton Dock, first career goal, the better Dock. Love to see that. Reichel had a point in there too. So Soderblom had a good game. So like pretty much the young core, produced today. So that was a positive. The negative, you get outshot 40-14. 0 for 3 on the penalty kill, which one of the penalty kills has been a strength for this team. It wasn't tonight. And yeah, the shots on goal, 40-14.
That's absurd.
The Hawks tend to get outshot, but that's even more than they usually do. And it's like another game where they blow multi-goal leads late, right? The Tampa gets like the one to tie it with like less than a minute left. And then Martinez has a tripping call like really right before overtime. So it's like when you know they're going to start that overtime at 4-on-3 power play, it's like I already knew the result. Like it's over. We're going to lose. And that's exactly what happened. I'm not LeBron James. Like I literally had the post game. I literally had the lost post ready when I saw we took that penalty because there's no way we're going to get out of that 2 minutes without giving up a goal. That's exactly what happened. So Hawks do get a point though, and they do unfortunately move ahead of the Sharks for last place. They were tied with them. That gives up 38 now, and they have 3 games in hand. So the Sharks are still beating us out in that tank race over there.
Hawks actually have a 4-game point streak going on. I know it doesn't feel like it, but they're 1-0-3.
Really? Well,
they're 1-0-3 in their last 4 games. So.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, I mean, so all things, especially like the opponents they've been playing to go on a 4-game win streak, not 4-game win streak, 4-game point streak for the Hawks. It feels like a win streak, right? Like that's not too shabby, right? They're playing good teams here. The Tampa's obviously a playoff team here, so it's like it did kind of hang with them. I mean, they definitely outplayed us, but score-wise, we hang with them, right? But the scoreboard doesn't always tell the whole story there, right?
Yeah. A couple of thoughts. I think we thought before the game, so we said on the show that we all thought it was going to be Vasilevsky in net. That's what it was pointing to. And
yeah, that being Johansson. That definitely helped the Hawks, right? 3 goals on 14 shots. Woof. If this was Vasilevsky, your 4-0 prediction may have been right?
Yeah, so, right? Yeah.
I think I said 5-2, so the game actually wound up being closer than I thought it would be, at least the scoreboard, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but that's an indicator of like, the Hawks just don't get enough shots going, and if they were to, imagine what the production would look like and what the win. You know what I mean? You get 25 shots on goal, you probably win this game 5-4 in regulation.
Yeah. And it's funny, like normally it's the special teams that win games for the Hawks. Today, actually, I'd say it lost it because the penalty kill, obviously, like I said, went 0 for 3. But the Hawks did have 2 power plays this game, right? And none of the 3 goals came on the power play. In fact, both those power plays, they hardly did anything. Like they weren't getting the puck to the net, weren't really getting those chances, right? So I think definitely some missed opportunities there. Like you said, fire more pucks, right? Generate more chances. They just didn't do that. Soderblom, he had no help out there tonight, man. He was on an island. So, but props to him. He keeps his good performances going this season. So good for him there.
Can I read this? Interesting note from Crystal, our giveaway winner, our most recent giveaway winner in chat. I was supposed to go to the morning skate, but they canceled it because a lot of the good guys didn't show up because it was optional. Maybe they should have went.
Well, that's the thing. It's like, if anything, like these optional skates should be mandatory for this team. It surprised me. I always check in on that. And like the amazing, like how few players you see show up to that stuff. And normally it's all the young guys, right? So I don't know. I do think there's a bit of a culture thing that maybe, you could argue needs to be fixed there. Because I think that's a little for this team. I think they should be taking those optional skates. Maybe I'm being overanalyzing that, but that is something I think this team can use any time they can get, right? Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, dude. Weird day, weird game.
It wasn't just Taylor Hall that was missed. Seth Jones was also like scratched right before the game because they said illness. I wonder if there's something maybe brewing there.
I think he's been dealing with a little sickness, honestly.
Yeah, probably sick of this playing on this team, right?
Yeah, some of the sniffles,
Yeah, I mean the Hawks do have that one retention slot open though. I'm just saying. I don't know, but yeah, I'm probably being delusional.
Yeah. Other than that, man, first of all, like good on Colton Dock for like getting his first in the national, like just such a hard-nosed kid, we make the joke that he has like higher upside than his brother. I don't actually know if that's true or not, but the more that this kid plays, the more that I'm like kind of buying into the joke a little bit that like maybe if he can stay healthy, and his development continues on this path and he plays this way that we've been watching, like, dude, this is a good hockey player for them.
And that was like the most cold that goal possible, right? He's so tenacious, right? He plays the game the right way, right? He doesn't have the talent of Kirby Dach, but I just think his hockey IQ is stronger. He puts pucks on net. He's physical. He doesn't play afraid. Like, I just think he has all the attributes to be a solid, like, middle six NHL player. He's never going to be a star. I think he could be just a perfect role player. Exactly. That's somebody you want, right? Especially come playoff time, a grinder like that, a dog. He's got that dog in him. So, no, good to see for Cole Dach. He's been playing well. Good to see him get rewarded for it. And he has a goal. He has a few assists. I mean, he's getting that production probably more than I'd expect. So I think him being up here too has helped guys like Nazar too. So good to see.
That was also probably my favorite Frank Nazar game. Like, that was the first game that I watched. That was the first game I watched that I was like, okay, like, this kid's got it,
Benzie Nazar connection too. It does not get any better than that. Love to see the future cook there.
That was a sick pass by Bedard to Nazar for the goal. Like, just like peripheral vision, along the boards. Like, that's a good pass.
He's so good at that. Yeah, he's so good at that. Those, like, have seen like board passes like that, getting open, creating time and space. He's a playmaker. I mean, look at the stats: 13 goals, 29 assists. Rookie year, 22 goals, 39 assists. The goals will eventually come for Betsy, but so far, like, he's been more of a playmaker in his career. Maybe he's gonna be more of a Kane, right? More of that versus a Matthews, right? But I think he's a sniper too. He's got that shot. The goals will come. But right now, it's good to see him, making plays like that. Even on a team that with not a lot of weapons around him. Imagine how much better his production is gonna be when he has guys like that who are on his level, right?
Yeah. I don't know, dude. I'm still like hung up on this Rantanen trade a little bit. Like, I know we're talking about the game, and like, that was a good game from the Hawks, really, truly. Like, that is what you want. You'd like it to see. The thing for me that stinks about this game is like it seems like the tying goals are getting later and later in the hockey game. Like,
I mean, they're literally coming as late as possible now.
Like, what's next? The Wild are the Hawks are gonna lead on
This
Sunday.
could be a buzzer beater.
Yeah, and it's gonna be like 9:59 on the clock before the Wild tie it, and then 10 seconds they're gonna win in an overtime. Like, it's getting frustrating on that point of it. You know,
that sounds about right. The Hawks are like the Bears. Like, they find ways to lose games just the most like heartbreaking ways possible, right? It's funny. We did put that clip out there about me making fun of the Sharks for blowing leads and losing games late, and the Hawks proceed to do the exact same thing. In fact, they've done that the last 2 nights. So I guess I deserve some karma there. I probably should have kept my mouth shut, but still, it wasn't a 5-1 lead though, so not quite the same thing, right?
Dude, I don't know. When the Hawks went up 3-1, the other thing too, like, this is like not pertaining to the game at all, but we've done a good amount of like Rick Ball glazing on this show, but when the Hawks are good, like, Rick Ball is going to be awesome to be like calling the goals for this generation of team. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he's gonna get so much recognition. I think it's easy. I think he's kind of flown under the radar a little bit just because this team sucks and a lot of people can't watch. So it's like they're not really giving him the credit he deserves. But I think when this team is good again, more eyeballs are watching, right? I think it's gonna be great to have him during the Bedard era, right? I mean, I'm not saying he's gonna be. You can't live up to Pat Foley, but I think he's about as good as you can get replacing him, right? An actual real play-by-play guy, not like Chris China Vosters over there.
Yeah. All right. Well, I don't have anything else. Do you?
Yeah, it's funny. Like, it's hard for me to analyze this game, honestly, because like I was so distracted. I think you were too with the Rantanen stuff going on. Where I was kind of half watching that game, half on my phone, constantly refreshing X. So there's only so much I could say about this game, to be honest with you.
Did you see that Jake Ottinger save? Like, total different game, total not pertaining to anything. Did you see that Jake Ottinger save he made in the last second of their win against Vegas the other day or tonight?
I don't know if I saw that. I'll have to look that up.
Unreal. Dallas ended up squeaking out that one, but like, Jake Ottinger like stole one from whoever 16 on the Golden Knights is. Like, just unbelievable save. But that was just my little side note here.
Yeah. Also, I do have another point here. I kind of found it funny that was Jake got so tied the game for the Lightning, considering he was the guy the Hawks are really close to signing this past offseason. Could you imagine how different the season this could be if that move went through, having Jake Getz up there at Bedard? Anyway, you can always wish, right? Hopefully this offseason, Kyle, locks it down, locks in and gets that piece for him. And then Kucherov in overtime, man, he gets the winner. 3-point game for him. I mean, I wonder where he ranks in the Hart race right now. You could argue he could be the favorite there. Yeah.
I will say that goal to me felt a little soft on Soderblom. Like, we haven't pinned a lot on him, and I know it was on the power play in overtime, but like that one felt a little like it felt like a excuse me, Shot pass. Yeah, I guess we both got it right now. It was like a shot pass that ended up just like going. I don't know. Like those.
Yeah, they
those
said it
kinda weak.
deflected, but I don't know if it did. I think I don't know if it really hit anything leading up to it. I don't think so. So yeah, maybe you could argue that went back, but we should have taken that penalty. Martinez or whoever it was should have taken that penalty, then the game there, right? That just sealed our fate for the OT. You knew I was going to go down, so I'll put that fully in him. But yeah.
All right. That's it from us, I think.
Also, I missed Brandon Hagel. He had an assist today. That's the last thing I'll mention. Anyways, sorry to cut you off.
No, that's a good point to mention. I don't know how I really feel about Brendan Hagel. Like who are the picks that they got back? Like,
Oliver Moore and Sasha Boyer. So like right now, I'd say Hagel is probably he's become a better player for them than I would have thought he would. Like he was a good player for the Hawks, but he's become a great player for them. But I think Moore and Boyer both have pretty high ceilings there. So it's going to take a while to process this trade. I think this is a win-win type deal. I would say. Hopefully it will be. But right now, I'd say it's working out pretty good for the Bolts. Probably better than I would have expected because both Rash could shoot didn't really work out for us. So yeah.
All right. Everybody, thank you for joining us tonight. We have a few announcements. We have a really fun one on Monday. So please be on the lookout for Monday's show for that. I will tease it a little bit. We are doing a live stream, an in-person live stream somewhere, someday in March.
A live stream. Huh?
A live stream. We'll be live streaming the game in person. So be on the lookout for that. We're also live streaming the game here in the studio like we normally do next Thursday against the Carolina Hurricanes. So 2 straight live streams against the Hurricanes. But
that's right. We're playing the Hurricanes, man. Oh my!
And we're gonna get
my gosh!
That'll actually be awesome.
Taylor Hall. Oh my
God.
gosh, that's gonna be an absolute disaster. We're gonna get absolutely blown out in that game. Have fun with that live stream.
That'll be fun though. Honestly,
yeah. That's at Carolina too.
We picked that game before all this happened. Like we picked that after the show today.
And we just played them too. Like the timing is crazy.
And we live streamed that game too.
Yeah, that is so funny. Everything's connected to these Hurricanes, man. It's funny. The Hawks do have they're a team they tend to trade a lot with, right? They'll have another Blackhawk going to the Canes there in Homeland. So like Blackhawk South down there.
Yeah. So we will be live streaming the game against the Hurricanes next Thursday. We'll make mention of that on Sunday and also Monday's show and Wednesday's show and all that stuff. Happy birthday, Trevor, in the chat. His birthday is tomorrow. He just said.
Happy birthday, Trevor.
Or
tomorrow. Yeah, I'm looking forward to tomorrow myself. I'm gonna be watching the 24 hours Daytona all day, so I'm probably gonna be pretty exhausted for that game Sunday if I manage to successfully do that. I'll probably be asleep, maybe. We'll see. I'll try to remember.
I have no idea if Lee was doing the post game show or not. I don't remember. I'll have to hound him.
No, that's right. I'll be there. I'll probably, maybe.
All right. So fun announcement coming Monday. We'll give the full details for the in-person live stream, but that'll be cool. That's going down in March. We're going to post a flyer and all that stuff. So be on the lookout for that. Please subscribe to this YouTube channel. Helps out a lot. We've gotten quite a bit of subscribers today, actually. So I'm glad I keep saying it because
the show today was great.
The show today was awesome. If you didn't listen to our interview with Stephen Ellis, it created a war in the chat. So that means if you guys are fighting each other in the chat, that means the discourse we're creating and the conversation we're having.
We're doing something
good.
right.
Yeah, it's good enough to we don't want a bunch of agree boys in the chat right
yes,
now.
Man. That's the last thing this organization needs right now is a bunch of yes men.
Or girls, agree girls.
Yes.
But yeah.
Or other.
Or whatever you want to be. Whoever you are, CHR fully supports you. But subscribe to this YouTube channel. Follow us on Instagram. Helps us out a lot. Yeah, and leave a 5-star rating and review on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Really does a lot for us. Other than that, I got nothing. So we will be back Sunday after the game against the Wild. Enjoy the day off tomorrow, everybody. We will see you Sunday.
That's right. I'll go draw my sorrows to this game and read some Hermione fan fiction.
Peace.